Okay, here we go. So welcome everyone. It's Tuesday. Usually on Tuesdays we do some form of attention training. So today I thought I'd reintroduce this um, specific idea of flow and what that means neurologically and otherwise for us. So quick reminder, this is 15 minutes of positivity. We meet every day, Monday through Friday, just for a few minutes to practice those core skills that help us feel better and help us become more skillful humans in the long run. So invite your friends, invite your therapists. Everyone's welcome. So, okay, so today's theme is flow. And what I mean with flow is there's a very specific, you can call it neurobiological or psychological state that refers to when we humans are in a space, we're having an experience that is fully immersive, meaning our energetic, our cognitive, our physiological focus is very much engaged in a specific task at the exclusion of other distractions. And so that's what makes it kind of magical and kind of interesting. I'll give you two sort of examples in a second here, but first I just want to set the stage and say there are two elements to flow that make this an interesting and worthwhile place or space for us to focus on. The first one has to do with how intense is the challenge, meaning the task that I'm performing. If it's riding a, hold on one sec, something just went haywire with my technology. If we are engaging in a task that feels really easy for us, so maybe it's riding a bicycle, maybe it's playing with our 3-year-old. It's it's more challenging to find flow. As the challenge gets higher, so now if we're performing something that's so beyond our capacity, it gets harder and harder to, or it becomes another variable for us that factors in the flow. Now, on the x-axis is our skill level to match that challenge, right? So if I'm really good at playing checkers, I can probably do that really easily with my 3-year-old. And am I going to find flow? Probably not, you know. But if I'm in a situation where my skill level is really low and I am being really challenged, well, chances are good I'm going to experience anxiety. On the flip side, if my skill level is really high and the challenge is low, I'm probably going to be a little bit bored. And so flow is a very subjective state of mind. It's sort of this, there's this neurologic Goldilocks zone that we want to find. And we can, of course, get better and better at it as we practice it and as we engage in mindfulness practices or gratitude or whatever else it is that we want to get better at. If we practice matching the difficulty of the challenge with our capacity for meeting that challenge with the appropriate skill, we get better and better at spending more time in that flow zone. So I hope this makes sense as as a concept. And again, I'll give you these two extreme examples, right? So this is Laird Hamilton. He is surfing what looks like a 70 to 80-foot wave in Hawaii. Like if I through whatever, miracle found myself on a surfboard in this kind of a situation, I would be terrified and I would probably just resort to some kind of, you know, freeze or fight, flight, freeze, moment where I would just seize up and I would just stop doing what I was doing. Whereas he has the ability to just roll with it and he can actually surf these kinds of waves. Similarly, if you hit me against my, well, he's now 14, but when he was younger, when he was 6 or 7, and we would play checkers or chess, admittedly, I felt like I was pretty competent and pretty amazing at playing chess. But in reality, all that was happening is that the challenge level was too low for my skill set. And so there's a sense of boredom that kicked in. So, long-winded way of saying when it comes to gratitude, when it comes to equanimity, when it comes to mindfulness, when it comes to these things that we're practicing here, we want to find the right amount of time that we're practicing with the degree of challenge, and we just want to be smart about it. Um, Rather than just saying, oh, I should be able to sit for 45 minutes quietly and have a blissful, mindful experience, right? That probably isn't appropriate. Anyway, so let's go ahead and practice that, and let's do some journaling for this. So if you have pen and paper, again, it can be a back of an envelope, it can be a pen that you find in the middle console of your car, as I oftentimes do when I do this kind of stuff. So let's just take 10, 15 seconds to gather ourselves and get set up for some journaling. And then as we journal, here's what we're journaling about. So the goal here is to just explore this concept of flow. And so start by dropping into answering the question. So right at the top of the page, I experience flow when so just write that down to begin with. If you don't have anything to write, then just sit still for a second and just say this out loud. I experience flow when and then just start writing. I'll keep time. I'll let you know when when we're going to switch to the next prompt. But for right now, just start writing. I experience flow when I. And as you're writing this, just a quick reminder, you're not trying to be smart. You're not trying to be eloquent. This is for your eyes only. So don't worry about what comes out. No one else will know. But just see if you can allow yourself to explore with an unfettered, creative mind how you would answer the question, I experience flow when I. Not about getting it right. It's not about sounding smart or meeting any expectations. It's literally about just noticing what comes up for you. Give this another 15 seconds. Start wrapping up what you're writing. And before we move on to the next prompt, put your pen down or put your mind down for a minute. Just notice yourself sitting in your chair, being still. What matters is what's about to happen right now, not what happened. That's done. Okay, and the next prompt is experiencing flow more frequently might help me. So go ahead and write that down on your page. Experiencing flow more frequently might help me, and just allow yourself to write. Don't censor yourself. Don't try to sound smart or intelligent. Just be you. Experiencing flow more frequently might help me do what or be what. Okay, so moving on to our last journaling prompt for the day. The things I can do to set myself up for more flow include. So I want you to imagine yourself being having a little more agency in what it takes to create the conditions for flow, right? We can't on demand produce flow, but we can create the conditions that are more conducive to us experiencing flow. So things I can do to set myself up for more flow include, and just see what happens, see what comes out of your pen. Okay, and we're bumping up into 12:15. We're already a little bit over. So maybe wrap up this journal prompt for the next 10, 15 seconds. While you're doing that, a couple things. Invitation to read what you wrote, always really, really useful. because you may discover certain things about yourself or your thoughts about flow that you may not usually encounter. Um, yeah, and then take a moment to potentially do a rewrite. So you have the journaling prompts. You can always sit down, carve out another, 15, 20 minutes at the, later on today or tomorrow and redo this exercise. And the idea is the more you do this, the more you discover. So hope that's helpful, and see you tomorrow on Wednesday at noon. Take care, everyone.